James Wiseman has already played his last game as a Warrior, if the Dubs are smart. The rookie started off hot, but he is obviously not on their timeline. Steve Kerr even admitted it.
I think he's got a great future, but it's clear that he's very raw. That's obvious, and how could he not be, given his inexperience?
And he's right. It's nothing against James Wiseman, but if the Warriors want to win, he's got to go. Kerr actually said something else about the number 2 pick that tells me he is definitely getting traded. If that's true, then what's his trade value and what can Golden State get back? Because if they want to keep Steph Curry, this deal has got to get done. Yo, it's KC, this is AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and hit notification bells if you like this video. Now, sometimes when people talk in the NBA, they don't actually mean what they say. They're not lying, they just don't want to create drama.
Answers. I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I used to cover the NBA, and I got used to this. It's almost like you have to translate what they actually mean. For example, in the 2017 playoffs, the Spurs were about to get swept by the Dynasty Dubs. Instead of saying, yeah, we're not close to good enough, of course they're gonna kick our butt, Coach Pop said this.
You're playing against 4 All-Stars, so competitiveness-wise, I couldn't ask for anything more, but we turned it over too much. But, you know, it's a hell of a team.
Oh, sure, it was the turnovers. Of course, he wouldn't be completely honest because it's not necessary. All that does is create a ton of drama. Steve Kerr knows this, which is why I was so surprised that when asked if James Wiseman could get traded, he said, "No, yeah, there's only a couple untouchable guys in the league."
I don't know. LeBron, Steph, and Giannis, and that's about it. Everybody is tradable. You know, can we get James, up to speed quick enough to match the timeline of our 3 core guys? And that's a great question, and we don't know the answer.
If any Warrior fan still thinks Wiseman won't get traded, they must be deaf. What? Some Warrior fans are going to say, what's the big deal? It's true. I know it's true, but that doesn't mean you have to say it. What Kerr should have said is, look, we are not thinking about trading James Wiseman. We just drafted him. All we are focused on is his amazing future and getting him right in the summer. Instead, he says everybody's tradable. That is a gigantic red flag. I think James Wiseman is as good as gone, which is actually great news for the Warriors. I'll link a video in the description of why Steph Curry could leave this team, but Steph said something that also caught my eye.
You've talked about how it would be cool to play your entire career with the Warriors organization, a little Kobe Bryant style.
You never know what can happen, obviously, but I feel like that's always been something that would mean so much to me. And you want to stay competitive. You want to stay in that fight where you're winning championships. And if I can accomplish both, that's the ultimate goal.
Of course, yes, it is the ultimate goal to remain a Warrior. Curry has no doubts he wants to finish his career as a Warrior, but that's nothing new. Of course he wants to stay. That doesn't mean he will stay. Again, the deep dive on why he could leave and where he could go is linked below. But bottom line, they could lose the greatest point guard ever, and trading Wiseman is the way out. Still, some people disagree, like Richard Jefferson.
Hey, Warrior fans, don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Do you remember when they were talking about Klay Thompson being traded for Kevin Love? Do you remember those conversations and how, Steve Kerr was like, no, you are not doing that? Look, Wiseman is a special player.
Yeah, except back then, Klay was young, just like Steph and Draymond. They were all in the same timeline, a totally different situation. So, before we get into the top 4 James Wiseman trades that actually make sense, we need to know his trade value. Obviously, he was the number 2 pick, but we learned a lot during his rookie season. Really, there were 3 main takeaways. First, he is pretty good on offense. But second, he needs to work on that defense. And third, he is too skinny. Dude needs to get stronger, which will come with time. You would also think that the D will catch up because he's got all the physical tools. The problem was he didn't really make a lot of contact and he lacks that defensive IQ at the NBA level like most rookies. The offense is pretty much what we thought, although I do want to see him shoot more threes. So yes, he's got all-star potential, But potential is not what the Warriors need. They can't wait until he's 25 years old. They need a prime player now, and they could roll into next season with Steph, a healthy Klay, Draymond, and a win now piece. Let's look at who that player could be from the worst to the best possible trades. Number 4, Pascal Siakam and 2 first-round picks to the Warriors for Andrew Wiggins and James Wiseman. The Dubs only get Siakam in a mid-first for Wiseman because the Raps are taking on Wiggins' gigantic contract. Toronto does this to get their young center for the future, and Maple Jordan goes home. On the Warriors, Siakam is that win-now front-court player. He's just 27 years old, and he was an all-star just last season. I know he's taken a step back, but he is a good fit as a slasher with good defense, and I think he would step back up in a lesser role. The number 3 trade, Kristaps Porzingis, Tyrell Terry for salary, and a lottery-protected first for Wiggins and Wiseman. Again, Wiggins is in this trade despite playing his best basketball as a Warrior. I know he's consistent on the Dubs, but he is still a question mark anywhere else. This is all about Wiseman for the Mavs, and we know they've made calls. Pairing him with Luka at just 19 years old is exciting for their future. In Golden State, Porzingis brings defense inside and elite scoring with range. He is almost the perfect player, except for that huge injury question mark. The number 2 trade, Bradley Beal plus cap filler for Wiggs, Wiseman, and 3 picks, including that high Minnesota first rounder. Some fans are gonna think this is a mistake and that Beal plus Curry aren't getting any further than, say, Dame and CJ in the postseason. That's ridiculous. Dame and CJ don't have Klay Thompson, who is elite when healthy, and Draymond, who, as a 4th option again, will improve. Look, Beal isn't a perfect fit. Yeah, his defense is lacking. Also, he's a guard, but he can move without the ball and shoot off screens, both necessary in the Bay. Because basically, they don't get more young talent than this offer. But the number 1 trade is an almost identical haul plus 1 more pick for both Domantas Sabonis and Miles Turner. It would be amazing to see an all-star and another potential defensive player of the year in the Dubs front court. The Warriors could get 2 impact players that fit their culture and their system. I think the Pacers would do this to kickstart a rebuild with potentially generational talent. Wiseman has that kind of ceiling, and depending on where that Minnesota pick lands, they get another star. Sabonis is a guy who can do everything on offense at the 4. He can post up, he can shoot, and he can create his own shot. He does lack defense, but again, Miles Turner helps out big. And honestly, Sabonis is just 24 years old and already an all-star. There's a chance he is the better big man of the Warriors' future over Wiseman. 2 trades I did not include here. First, Karl Anthony Towns, because he plays no defense. I don't think he's a good fit, and I don't think he's moving anyway. But there is a way to get another young elite player, and that is outlined in this video. Check it out.